How's it going, everyone? Today we're going to be taking a look at a new free-to-play shooter called Shatterline. This is the newest Call of Duty game for people that hate what Call of Duty has become. This game is very much a shameless CoD clone in a lot of ways, but in a good way. It is very reminiscent of Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 with the way the game plays, the way the game feels, but it's also a hero shooter. Now, when I say it's a hero shooter, I mean it's very minimal on the hero shooter aspect. It's definitely more about guns and your gun skill and traditional FPS mechanics, but you have some hero flavors. Like one of the heroes, instead of a grenade, he can throw an axe. One guy, his ultimate is like he just turns into a porcupine. Pretty cool. Like it's different, but it's definitely more gun skill than like Overwatch, Reinhardt with a shield. Nothing crazy like that. So the game does not have like kill streaks or anything like that, but you do have abilities and you do have an ultimate. And these ultimates and abilities charge based off of how well you're doing. So the game does have a bit of a momentum feel to it. Part of that is just the TTK and it's sliding around, and naturally you just sort of get into like a flow state. This is a game where you can absolutely pop off and do crazy shit. It feels great. Now you don't call it an AC-130 or anything like that, but you do charge your ultimates faster. You do recharge your abilities faster. So if you're doing well, you're going to be able to throw more grenades or use your tactical equipment more often, things like that. Now, I will say the hero shooter element, they're not cringe heroes. That's something that most hero shooters get wrong, where the heroes, they just say dialogue that is horrendous. There is nothing overly cringe about any of these characters. Some of them are over the top, like the American Commando guy is like unapologetically American, saying American quips and America fuck yeah. The character essentially is what he is, in a good way. It's not like Lawbreakers where it's just like, oh god, how do I mute this? So gameplay straight up like Call of Duty, exactly like you want. A lot of the same mini-map, spawn locations, the general flow of the game and how people navigate the maps is very similar to Call of Duty in a good way. There's a lot of guns and progression. There is some vertical power progression. You will be at a little bit of a disadvantage when you first start playing this game, just because the guns that you have, you don't have access to many of the guns yet, but also they don't have attachments. These attachments do just flat out make the guns better, but not in a significant way. I played for probably 5 or 6 hours yesterday, and I was unlocking the attachments, and it wasn't like a crazy power gain. You notice it some. You can get like a red dot for some of the assault rifles, things like that, but these are pretty minimal upgrades. But the progression tree and the unlock tree is pretty significant. Like, it's going to take a while to unlock all this stuff, I feel like. And if they keep adding more stuff, it's really going to be cool. Honestly, it is a grind. It's definitely a good little grind, but I think it's a grind in a good way. And I felt like it felt good. I did not feel compelled to spend any money on this game. This seems like a free-to-play game with pretty good monetization. I didn't really explore the shop much, but I saw there was a battle pass. Again, just based off of the power level of like a new player, it seems pretty fair, genuinely. It seems like you can unlock stuff pretty quickly. I mean, there's a grind there. There is stuff for you to do and to progress on, but it's not like, oh man, some veteran player is gonna blow you out of the water because he has the red dot and the whatever attachment on his gun. Like, it's just not like that. Now on to the big thing that makes this game so much more fun than Call of Duty has been in years, and that is there is no skill-based matchmaking in random matches. This has been confirmed on Reddit. They know that this is something that people really value, and I tell you what, man, wow, is it satisfying to play a game where I can actually feel like I'm getting better at it. Now, yesterday was my first time playing the game, and oh my god, was I getting dunked on. But guess what? I started getting better, and the progression and the feeling of getting better just doesn't exist if there's skill-based matchmaking and you're just playing mirror clones of yourself where everyone is just as terrible as you are, and when you get better, you just face people that are slightly better. It's terrible. So there's no skill-based matchmaking in this game, and it feels fantastic. The matches, there's variety to the matches. Some games are super competitive. Some games you are Super Saiyan God mode. Other games you are getting bent over, dude. But it feels good. There's variety there. Now, I will say when you start playing this game, you're probably going to get dunked on a little bit because there's some like clever lines of sight on the map, and Again, like I was saying earlier, this is like a very momentum-based game, not due to like game mechanics, but I think like once you start popping off, maybe you just get more confident and you just start popping off more. I've just noticed that in my experience with the game. But man, when it rains, it pours. This game, man, when you first start playing, like you might die 10 times in a row and not get a kill. Like for whatever reason, I guess just the speed of the game and momentum, whatever, it can happen. But don't take it personally. It still happens to me. I might play today and have that happen again. It's just one of those things. But yeah, dude, it's fantastic to play this game and actually have variety every single match and feel like I'm getting better at the game. I felt like I really got a lot better at the game playing yesterday because I started off being horrendous, and then towards the end of the day, man, I'm doing pretty well. I'm putting up some pretty good games. Now let's talk about the bad. There's just not a lot of content in the game in terms of maps and heroes. The content they have is good, I feel like, but there's just not a lot of it yet. So hopefully as the game matures, they'll make more of it. I want more of it, but there's not a lot right now. A lot of the times I'll want to play a certain hero. Like I really like the Orbit hero or the heroes like Orbit. I think they're called mercenaries or something. That's their like type, I guess. I want to play a hero like that, but I can't because there's just only one or two of those in the game. Again, I just want more heroes, more stuff, more things. The progression tree and the amount of weapons is pretty good. Like there's a pretty solid amount of stuff there, but outside of that, not a lot. The game is absolutely still in beta from a technical sense. Performance-wise, it actually runs pretty well. I have like an insane PC though, so I don't know if that's actually true. But for me, it ran well. But it definitely still crashes. There's still some bugginess with like I had a weird flickering issue that seemingly fixed itself by I just have to go to full screen and then to windowed and back to full screen or vice versa. Definitely some weird beta things happening. Game crashes a good bit, but nothing crazy, nothing too bad. I think some people have it worse than others, but my personal experience, it just hasn't been that bad. And the last thing, I've heard some people say that their server quality is not good. I don't know if that's they just did an update right before I started playing, so I don't know if they just fixed that right before I started playing. But I did not experience that. I have not experienced any sort of egregious rubber banding or lag or anything like that. I did notice that there's a server browser list of sorts where it's like you can choose to connect to East Coast, West Coast, Singapore, whatever servers. The default has all of those checked. So maybe that's why some people have some lag, is because they are like playing on a, EU server from the US. Maybe that's it. But I went and checked the East Coast servers and seemingly runs pretty good for me. This game does plan on adding a competitive mode, but honestly, guys, I couldn't tell you whether this game would be good or bad to play competitively because I just don't give a fuck. I don't want any of my arcade shooters to be competitive. I just don't care. I don't want Battlefield to be competitive. I don't want Call of Duty to be competitive. I don't want even like Titanfall to be competitive. I just don't care about playing these arcade wacky shooters competitively. I play these shooters to have fun with my friends, do cool shit, and not think about it too much. And this game is perfect for that. I really, really like that I can just jump on this game, have some fun, and do some cool shit, and not feel like I'm in MLG Dallas competing for $100,000. So, yeah, dude, if you're into that, if you are just a fan of that old school casual COD feel and just popping off, man, this is a great game. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely a little rough around the edges. I'd like to see just more of the game in general. I just want more of the stuff. But other than that, man, check it out. It's free. Go download it on Steam right now. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to subscribe with notifications on. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and join the Discord. It's free.